The year, 1988. Ronald Reagan was wrapping up his presidency. Guns N' Roses were tearing up the charts. 2/3 of this panel were being born. And for the first time ever, 3 icons of the slasher genre were having a theatrical release in the same year. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Versus.
Welcome to the inaugural episode of Versus, where we pit movies head-to-head and decide who will reign supreme. There's only one rule, and one rule only, by the end of these movies. And what's that?
There can be only one.
Only one. Only one winner. We will decide.
There will never be a tie on this show.
Exactly.
We will always
find a way.
We will always create a tiebreaker.
That's exactly right. Because
Always.
Has to be a deciding factor.
Yes.
Today on Versus, we are pitting the most classic horror icons of all time. Well, 3 of the most classic horror icons of all time together. This is the very first time that they've ever actually went up against each other in the same year.
Yep.
Very first time, 1988. Very special year.
Oh yeah.
I like the call. We call it the year of Christ. I mean, the year I was born. No,
Hey,
I'm going to get struck down for that.
I just want to say, without being struck down, Christ is literally in my name.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mine too.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's true. It's true.
Damn.
I was 9 in 1980.
So if it's not my name, does that mean I just took it in vain? Is that what happened?
Possibly.
I might have screwed myself.
We'll overlook it this time.
Okay, thank you. Today, we are talking about Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers.
What?
We are discussing Nightmare on Elm Street, number 4, The Dream Master.
What?
And Friday the 13th, Part 7, The New Blood.
Woo!
Each one of these movies were different, but very good.
Yeah.
Not the strongest.
No.
In their respective franchises.
No.
Definitely not the weakest, though.
No.
But
true.
It was the first time that they all went up against each other, I should say. So what we're going to do on this episode of Versus is we are going to pit these up against each other. We have picked 7 different categories. We are going to find out the ultimate slasher movie of 1988. And the very first category is Christopher.
All right, first category is Return of an Icon. Since these movies were all sequels, we decided to do a category where we decided who had the best return at the beginning of their movie. Yeah. And we all unanimously agreed on Halloween.
I can't believe none of us chose the dog that pissed fire.
I know.
That
Freddy's return was a dream, pulled this guy in the dream, and then his dog was in there with him, and then pissed fire for whatever reason on the ground in this junkyard.
Was he a hellhound? Or?
I guess. I don't know. But yeah, either way, pissed fire, opened up the ground, and then... Now, Freddy's reanimation was cool in itself.
Yeah.
But it was pretty weak sauce because I mean, really the piss and fire thing really kind of was weird, that it ruined the whole thing. It was the reanimation itself was cool, but I don't feel like it deserves the top spot here.
No, and Friday definitely doesn't deserve
it.
That's probably the weakest bring back that he's had. I mean, there's some bad ones, but that one was pretty fucking bad.
It was pretty rough.
It was pretty
bad.
She was trying to bring her dad back.
Yeah. The telekinetic
and accidentally brought him back. That's stupid.
Exactly. The telekinetic thing was definitely an interesting.
I like that.
I was going to say it's an interesting insert into the movie franchise.
Yes.
It was something different. It was something fresh. Weird, but good.
Yeah.
But that beginning, she was upset like a little emo teen or something, and was crying on a dock, trying to bring back her father with her power that she used to basically kill him.
Yeah.
In rage. and ends up waking up Jason in the bottom of the lake in Crystal Lake there.
Yeah.
Stupid. Pretty weak sauce. I think that Freddy's animation was better, reanimation was better.
Yeah.
But, that's just the stupidest way.
Yeah. Halloween, hands down.
Halloween, turns out he wasn't really dead from the last one, but return-wise, it was much more tame. And I think this wins just because it was safe.
Yes.
It was safer than the other two, because the other two was just so outrageous. He was just comatose, was fine being comatose until he finds out he has a niece, and then he kind of springs to life or whatever. But that's one thing that at least it was somewhat more plausible than the other two.
I think it was kind of cool because they teased it with the opening nightmare sequence too.
Right, right, they did.
So they kind of built up to him coming back.
Exactly. Yeah, they didn't actually play the opening theme until like the first few minutes into the film.
Right.
So that was another one.
Yep. All right. Second category is best story. Pretty simple category.
Yeah, we had to. I mean, horror movies are pretty convoluted and messy for the most part, anyway. But out of these three, I have to say with Freddy, it was a continuation of Dream Warriors, which was by far one of the best nightmare films.
Yes.
And this was a year later. They didn't keep any of the original cast that was left. Like Patricia Arquette was out. I think she might have been pregnant or something, but she was out. It was, I think story wise, it was all over the place.
Yeah, it was.
There was just too much weirdness going on. Yeah. No one really understood. And you notice as the franchise gets older, through 4, 5, and 6, you see this. You see the change in origin and how things took place. It's just a little bit messy, and 4 was the start of that.
Yep.
4 was a continuation of 3, but it was done in a terrible way.
Oh yeah.
Friday was good.
Yeah.
It was better because it was fresh, like we said.
Yeah, it was different.
It was different. Yeah, we seen this new approach from this girl with, obviously she had a troubled past. She's killed her father. She has these telekinetic powers. Other than that, it's a typical Friday film, so it's not really deep, but it's different.
Yeah, but the telekinesis added to what was a pretty standard story.
Right. Yeah. But she gave him a good fight, right?
Yeah.
That was what was awesome about it. Halloween was, obviously this is kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah, it was pretty classic Halloween.
So it was pretty classic Halloween. We finally get to see the return of Michael Myers.
Dr. Loomis.
Dr. Loomis returned. We didn't have Jamie Lee Curtis back. We didn't have Laurie Strode back. We introduced a niece of Michael, which was her daughter in this run. Jamie, it was pretty well told that Jamie had died, or Laurie Strode had died in a car accident or something. Left him with the Carruthers. Is that right?
I believe.
The Carruthers family. I should know it. I'm the biggest fan here. But anyway, the Carruthers family, and he finds out about her and goes after her, basically. But as far as atmosphere and stuff like that, I think, and the story all put together well, I think it was great. They really tell everything very well.
Yep.
And I love Loomis showing up in the town because, the memories of people and their dialogue and stuff about what happened 10 years prior was still there, and they start, if this is true, what he did to them kids back 10 years ago, we don't want a repeat of this.
Yeah.
So it felt like a really good continuation.
Yeah.
It really did.
Yeah.
The other ones were just messy.
I think that's unanimous too. That's
Halloween is the clear winner of this one.
Yep. Pretty easily.
Yeah.
Number 3, set design.
Effects.
Yes. Pretty sure that's unanimous Nightmare.
Yes, I agree on that one.
Even though there was one set that is just bed sheets with Chinese markings on them.
Well, that was after the fact, I think, and they didn't have much budget left or something to run.
Yeah, he doesn't even fight. Like Freddy doesn't even show up. He's
just fighting air.
He's fighting
in a glove.
Yeah,
that's using the effects.
Other than that,
most of the sets were vibrant, and they actually you can tell they're from the MTV generation.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Vibrant colors and elaborate sets, and Yeah, I think that and effects-wise, it wins hands down.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Well, the boiler room, the lighting in the boiler room stuff, and the house that looked much better. They did have it had the biggest budget, obviously.
The cockroach set.
The cockroach was
really cool.
awesome.
Oh, yeah,
that was really cool. The effects of her arms breaking during, that kill was awesome. The diner was good. I think everything, for the most part, was much more vibrant, like you said.
Yeah.
Clearly, the effect in a movie theater,
yes,
is hands down one of the best things. Where she gets inserted in the movie, and the drinks are coming out, all of her shit's coming out in the movie.
Yeah,
that's one of my favorite effects from that entire franchise.
It is. It really is mine too. Very, very well done. So I think that Freddy definitely takes the cake on this one. The Nightmare 4 takes the cake on this. For Friday was just the same old.
Yeah.
And in fact, as far as effects go with the kills and everything, it got pretty much
declawed.
Yeah,
a little bit.
I mean, pretty much. It was definitely hurt.
Oh yeah.
The rating system was wanting to give it an X. You said.
Yeah.
And it was definitely hurt by that. So it could have been so much more.
Yeah.
Other than that, it was just your typical Friday film.
I do think the effects on her attacks on Jason were amazing.
Oh, yes.
Other than that, it's pretty flat.
Yeah, the last 10, 15 minutes was pretty great. Other than that, it was pretty typical. For Halloween, now the setting and the mood was very good.
Yeah,
the
mood was really good.
I actually agree with you guys on Nightmare, but I would put this in a very close second.
Yeah.
Just because they did a really, really good job.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very understated.
It is.
But it's good.
It is.
It's a good mood, but the set's very typical Halloween. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like it's really good, like it always is, but it's very typical.
Well, and since Freddy had the bigger budget, but also the dream stuff, like the dream sequences and stuff, really allow for a lot more craziness.
Yeah, it does.
So I think that you have a better potential to find something crazy, to do something crazy and good.
I think if you put
Halloween's very grounded.
Yeah, if you put any of these three against each other, Nightmare's probably always going to win set design. No matter what.
Yeah, for the most part, yeah.
Probably. So everybody agrees Nightmare wins set design.
Yeah, I'll give you that one.
Okay, so number 4 is score. Me and Andrew are in agreement on Nightmare having the better score.
Yes, I chose Halloween on this one.
Can you tell us why?
I can tell you why. Because nothing, in my opinion, will ever beat John Carpenter's score. Or his theme, anyway. Also, the music from certain different scenes I thought stood out better. Always stands out better in Halloween films. In fact, going along with the set, the score all together at the beginning, like the shots at the beginning of just this normal, quiet farm town and the small town.
That was pretty cool.
That was it's different, right? So it was really cool. And then the music and the sound effects they used at the beginning of that movie, I thought set a very, very creepy and almost like, I don't know what the word, I guess.
Atmospheric?
It's atmospheric. Thank you. Yes. I think that sets a great tone for the film, the rest of the film. I think it's, because this is the calm before the storm almost, but it's still really unsettling and really creepy. And then you get into the movie and then you hear the theme. But I think that opening is probably the best opening in any Halloween movie.
Wow.
Just because of that setting, because of the music,
it's also very different from every opening.
It is different.
There's no jack-o'-lanterns and stuff.
No. And 5 had a good one too, but you had the carving sounds and the cutting sounds and stuff. I thought that was pretty cool. But I think 4 hands down is the best opening in a Halloween film. So I think that's a big thing for me.
Yeah.
And the score through the rest of the movie is just great. It doesn't, I don't know, maybe not doesn't stand out to everybody, but to me it does, just because every Halloween does.
It's kind of like the set design is kind of understated to me, where Nightmare 4 is, like we said, very atmospheric. You've got the really creepy music during all the dream sequences. And I'm a sucker for 80s stuff, and there's like
too.
an 80s soundtrack in this. That's I don't know who the bands were. I'll have to look them up, but it was pretty good.
Yeah, that's what I was. Yeah. I mean, I just like the music that's playing around through the whole movie. The dream sequences always get me with the sounds.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
I can give you that.
It's just they always get me.
Yeah, I can give you that.
Very eerie.
Yeah.
We can all agree Friday's weak sauce as far as, but it's always been pretty bad.
Yeah, it always has been.
Not bad, but not great.
Yeah, pretty weak.
I do like,
other than when Crispin Glover was dancing.
Well, that was pretty good.
That's my favorite song.
Yeah. He's my favorite actor.
Yeah, he's my favorite dancer. He's my favorite professional
He's my
dancer.
favorite everything.
I don't think Friday's like weak. I just think it's definitely the weaker of the three.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
It's just the weaker three. I mean, I think
I have seen I've heard much worse.
Yeah.
Well, Friday always keeps that really, really old classic style to it.
Yeah.
Whereas Freddy's always been very pop culture driven.
Yeah.
And
whatever's hot at the time.
Yeah, and then Halloween's just Halloween. It's got its own sound and it sticks to that too.
Yeah.
But
it's
a little
very
bit,
Carpenter-ish.
But it is very Carpenter, but it also kind of changes and evolves a little bit as time goes on. Next one.
All right, number 5 is acting. And I'm pretty sure we all have to agree that Halloween is
For sure.
the best out of the three.
Absolutely. Supporting characters, main characters, the acting of all of them in general, so much better.
Yes.
So much better.
Which is saying something because they had a 10-year-old little girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Danielle Harris is
very good
amazing.
She was amazing.
She was incredible.
Yes, she was.
And still incredible.
Yeah. I mean, what can you say? Nightmare was pretty just terrible. It was pretty freaking terrible. Friday was pretty terrible too. I mean, it wasn't that bad, but it was, there's been worse in both franchises acting wise.
Oh, I agree.
But yeah, Halloween takes the cake.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't. Well, the thing about Friday is you have the same formula every single time.
Yes,
and I guess you do in a way on all these, but Friday is very, very contained, very similar in every movie. You basically get the stereotypical same style characters in every one of them.
Yep.
You have boobies, you have death, and then you have Jason.
Yep.
So there's really not a whole lot to it. I think the final girl in New Blood was decent in some scenes.
Yes,
I think with her,
so
she's always crying and freaked out.
Yeah.
And I thought she did pretty good. Some of the other supporting actors did pretty well.
We touched on this in our Friday podcast, but I'm pretty sure the lead male actor was gay, and there wasn't a very good chemistry between the two.
No,
they were supposed to be.
No, there wasn't. Yeah. Well, you could have told with the short shorts. I mean,
that was everybody.
Despite the style.
That was everybody back then.
Oh, okay.
I wore those at home. What are you talking about?
Yeah. I still wear them.
Tube socks to my knees.
Tube socks to your knees. Everybody calls you master. So, clear winners Halloween.
Yes. Yes. Unanimously. All right, number 6, though, I'm excited for this one because it's Kills.
Yes.
And that is unanimously Friday.
Yes.
Yeah,
Friday.
Unanimously.
The first one for Friday, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, the first win to Friday.
Yes, it is.
Which is crazy, right?
Yes. Dude. Like, how could anything beat it? I don't know.
Well,
I mean, Halloween had some pretty friggin' epic kills.
So did, and Nightmare kind of did.
Nightmare kind of did, but not really. I mean, Nightmare, I think this was one of the weakest kill counts for Nightmare of any Nightmare movies.
There was some good ones.
There was some good deaths, but there was only 6.
There were the 3 survivors from part 3.
Yes.
And then there were all of Alice's friends minus Dan. Which I don't know. There may have been 8.
I'm thinking there was I was going to say 6 to 8.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
8.
Not really.
There's oh man, how many in Halloween did we say? Probably 10.
At least 9 or 10.
Yeah, there's about 10. There's 16 in Friday.
Yeah.
And every one of them, except for one, is pretty gruesome.
It's pretty gruesome, pretty awesome. Most of them.
The one off screen with the scythe
with a nerd,
dumb.
But
it was that. But that wasn't their fault either. They got neutered by
the MPAA.
But
but if the MPAA didn't neuter this movie, it would have been so much better on every.
Nasty. Oh man, it would have
so much better
nasty.
on anything. Deaths, boobies, everything.
Yes,
it would have been so great.
The party horn through the eye.
That was a really fun, cool kill to me.
Was
how about the very first and only kill by Jason to use a motorized tool?
the only
that was on the doctor, the evil little psychiatrist or whatever.
Sleeping bag, which is Kane Hodder's favorite kill, is Jason.
Yes. And I hate that got that got neutered because he actually had several good whacks with it, and not just the one.
They put blood actually in the sleeping bag.
Yeah. And it must have been really, really, really nasty because they did it again in Jason X. Mm-hmm. Then he did it multiple times, but it wasn't as bad.
Yeah, it was comical.
It was pretty comical, more than anything. So it would have been, that would have been awesome to see.
Yeah.
With Freddy, I felt like the best one was definitely the cockroach one, where they turned her in the cockroach. And of course her arms breaking, her elbows snapping while she was on the bench press.
And that in the waterbed.
The waterbed scene was really cool.
The waterbed was probably the best for me.
Yeah, waterbed was really good.
Yes.
The other ones were pretty weak.
Yeah.
And are forgettable.
Well, the karate master guy.
That was the worst.
He got killed by one stab to the gut with the glove.
Freddy booped him on the head.
Yeah.
The token black guy is the first one that dies at the beginning.
Yep.
He gets his dog resurrects him with his fire piss.
Yes.
Yeah, you survive Dream Warriors, and now you're going out in the first scene.
and then you get the claws to the gut a few times.
Yeah, you got like 3 or 4 claws to the gut. That was about it.
Halloween had some decent ones.
Yeah.
Halloween had the thumb to the eye of the doctor in the ambulance or whatever.
Yeah. That was good.
The thumb to the eye was good. The shotgun through the stomach and sticking to the wall was pretty awesome.
Cops do it by the book.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I hate that the sheriff's deputy was off screen because he was all contorted at the end and she found him, and that was weird, but it makes you wonder like what he did to him.
Right. Yeah.
So that was interesting. They got him throwing him into the power station or whatever to fry all the power in town was kind of cool, but it wasn't like the shotgun to the.
No, that's probably the coolest.
That's probably the coolest one of the movie. The other one that he did the I take that back. Earl in the truck when he grabbed his neck and almost pulled his head off.
Yeah,
that was good. That was a good one.
I still like the shotgun though. I think the shotgun was my favorite.
Friday definitely takes this one.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's hard not to.
Friday's probably gonna always take
deaths, the kills.
The kills.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay, so that's unanimous. Number 7. Our final category.
Category.
Icon deaths.
Yeah.
The deaths of all 3 iconic slashers. And we are pretty much all across the board split.
Yeah. We actually all have our own
and
no tiebreakers. Or there's no tiebreakers on this one, just tie.
Yes.
Well, I should say it's not a tie. It's
mine. I feel like I have to elaborate because I said Friday is my favorite icon death. But when the timing of his death is not my favorite.
Yeah.
I would probably say Nightmare's probably better. Nightmare is better.
Mm-hmm.
But the whole 15 minutes leading up to Jason's death is my favorite because I love how much shit she puts him through with her telekinesis.
I think if it would have been one of those things where she lit him on fire, the house blew up, and he blew up.
Yes.
And blew up into pieces or something.
And if it would have ended right there,
yeah,
that would have been freaking awesome.
Just somehow would have just blew him to pieces, and it would have showed his pieces.
Yeah.
Because
I love all that enough that I can overlook
the dad coming up and
dad with the dirty face.
Yeah. That was stupid as shit.
But
I can overlook that.
Yeah. For Andrew, he chose Freddy,
which is weird for me because of all these franchises. I won't say I like Nightmare the least. Yeah, I will. It's probably my least favorite of all three.
It's definitely mine too.
And it's because Freddy's deaths are always lame.
Yeah.
They either turn their back and he disintegrates or whatever. But in this one, I just loved it.
It was lame. It was lame that she showed him his reflection and finished the song.
Right.
Oh, yeah, that was lame.
But the death itself was cool.
How everyone inside of him was pulling him apart.
Yeah, and the souls were coming out, and he was sticking to the deal.
And that goes back to the budget.
Great
they
effects.
Had way more to work with.
Yeah, great effects on that death scene. So that I can give you that. Mine, I chose Halloween because I just loved them unloading unlimited amounts of ammo into him at the end, and him falling in the mine shaft. Now, what they don't show at the end, I don't think they showed it at the end of 4. At the beginning of 5, right after they shoot him down the mine shaft, they actually throw dynamite down there and then try to blow him up, and he ends up dodging it. But that would have been a hell of a death to to just blow the shit out of him and then throw the dynamite down there.
Yeah.
To me, I'm biased, so I choose that one.
They were more worried about the transfer of power to Jamie at that point than they were throwing.
Right. Which I don't even think they had a fucking idea what they wanted to do. So that actually, since we all have our own different, that one actually pretty much cancels out. So in defense of the other two, I mean, you got to think that this was the fourth Halloween film. The third one did pretty shit because it was the lack of Michael Myers.
Yeah, because it was different.
Yeah, so this was only the fourth film, only the third one to feature Michael Myers. This was the big return. This was 10 years later, or, I guess 7 years technically, because the second Halloween. And then by this time, you're already in to, this is the fourth Freddy, but he's had one almost every year since '84.
Yeah,
he was still new. Dream Warriors put him on the map.
Oh yeah,
and by now, Friday's kind of phasing out. It's weakening. I should say. So those were some of the weaker entries in their franchises, whereas this was one of the strongest in almost everybody's list of Halloween. So this is probably going to end up this way anyway. But yeah, we at least found our winner.
Yeah, there was ever any doubt.
Never any doubt.
Yeah, I kind of figured this. I thought maybe Friday would have a higher showing because I'm a Friday fan, but really looking at the three, I probably like Nightmare 4 a little bit more than I do
New Blood.
Yeah, New
Really?
Blood.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, I love New Blood.
Yeah.
It's not great by no means, but I like that it's different
Because it's so different.
and I like that. Like my favorite part about New Blood is that she whoops the shit out of Jason. That's my favorite
Somebody
part.
finally went
because
toe-to-toe.
someone finally went toe to toe with him. I love that.
Yeah.
Because no one ever really did. I mean, there's been people that have, but not like this.
Right.
Not like there's not been anybody that just beat the shit out of him.
To me, that's the saving grace of a mediocre movie with characters that I really don't.
Yeah.
invest in.
And that's the problem with a lot of Friday movies. Halloween is the complete opposite for the most part. For most of Halloween's movies, you care about most of the characters.
That's
the big difference between Halloween and Friday. And Nightmare, I am not a very big fan of the Nightmare movies.
franchise.
No,
I am, and I'm
there's one or two that I really like.
I want to be because I'm such a Freddy. I like Freddy, and I'm a big Robert Englund fan. But their movies are bad.
Yeah.
Like most of the movies are terrible.
Yeah.
And I know there's fans out there, but they are mostly bad.
I guess I like them a little more than you, but I'm not
Maybe.
a huge fan.
No.
Yeah, I mean, you like the other two better. You
Yeah.
still,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, is our very first Versus champion and wins the Slashers of '88.
And by winning this version of movie Highlander by decapitating the other two slashers, I was hoping that Halloween would only get stronger, but that was not the case.